Hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, and today we're going to start, I guess, in our regular series on tools you can use to assist you in improvisation at your game table. I'm big improvisational style DM, I guess you could say. Um, to some extent, that means I do less prep. In other ways, I do more prep. Really, the tools that you have with you when you game, if you want to be an improvisational style DM or GM, are important to have. And I'm going to just go over a couple of them on different episodes. Today, look at that. The video is actually working. It's not blocking out. Dungeon Master's Little Black Book. This is from SquareHex. SquareHex is a UK publisher. This is also going to be available on drive-through as a PDF. Now, the print version, I believe, is like 20 pages long. The PDF, I think, is 34. So it's a bit expanded. And what it is a bunch of tables. Okay. Now, this comes in two flavors, though, at the Square Hex site. I backed the Kickstarter. So, oh, by the way, if you go to um, ShireCon, I'll be bringing copies with me. So, if you want to donate to the cause, feel free. If you just want a copy and I have some left, it's yours. Okay. Now, it comes in two flavors in print. It comes in this flavor, which has charts for you to use. And they're simple charts, nothing groundbreaking, but that's something you can pull out of your pocket last moment. Players come across a corpse in an alleyway in a town, like, they decide they're going to go searching or whatever. What's on the corpse? Oh, how many coins? There's a chart for that. Okay. Uh, Maybe they're looking for a hireling, right? You didn't think of bringing a list of hirelings. Well, you got a list here of 30 potential hirelings, including their level, hit points. Most of them are zero level. Names. This stuff is a godsend when you are literally running by the seat of your pants, or your players go off script. All right, you think they're gonna zig, and they zag and jump and do a few other wacky little things. So something like this is awesome, but also something like this doesn't necessarily apply to your current needs. So I don't know if you can see that this says. Has a Roman numeral on the bottom there. This one does not have a Roman numeral on the bottom. And why is that? Because this one is blank. This one is make your own charts, make your own tables. And, believe it or not, in the back, I don't know if you can see that properly on the screen, make your own maps. So, in theory, with the blank one, you could map out a whole adventure in something that now when people are going to be going to me, well, what size is that? I'm going to hold up probably one of the best physical quality zines I've gotten recently, Scoundrels, and compare the size. Okay, so this is a regular zine size, Scoundrels. It's certainly not regular zine quality. It's high quality paper and cover. So that's the comparative size. But something little like this, you can throw in your back pocket, bring it down with you to the pub, and take notes, right? You can scratch out maps on that. That is, the blank book allows you to have something that is unique to your current adventure, your current setting, your current landmark where your player is going to be. And you make a book like that of your own. That's the wrong. Sorry, that's. Well, yeah, but you make a book like this of your own, label it, keep it. It's always a tool that you can bring out. Maybe you have one that's all about hirelings, and you've got one book like this that's all about treasures that can be found in a dungeon, right? Or one that is all about wilderness encounters that are special. So maybe if you're rolling a wilderness encounter, here's the special part, you bring out your book. So again, the print ones for Dungeon Master's little black book are SquareHex out in the UK, but you can get the PDF over at DriveThruRPG. I'll put the link for the PDF up. I love this stuff. Okay. And I am highly, highly disorganized. I am not an organized person, and which is kind of funny because there was a number of years where I was an administrative sergeant for a whole division in the NYPD, and my way of filing things was just to keep a pile of papers getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and once you got to a certain size, then you went through it and filed things properly. But I generally knew what was in that pile, right? Well, that's not the best way to run your game sessions. Your players need immediate answers. You just can't go, oh, yeah, Cap, give me a minute. I'll call you back. You call back in half an hour once you finally found it. Your players, to be a successful GM, you need a certain pacing. Little things like this help you in game. Now, there's other tools that can help you prep for a game, prep for a campaign, and I will go over those on later episodes of this. But the little things that you have at your table, Inkwell does a great series of deck cards, side quests. When your players go off script and you need to pull something out of your ass real quick, I've used these where I've been like, all right, I'm GMing? All right, well, you guys start creating your characters. I'm going to pull a card out of this deck, and that sea that I'm looking at is going to become a full-fledged adventure in the next 10 minutes. Now, am I improvising as the adventure goes on? Yeah, because I've just made notations as to what I've been given as a very brief outline in the side quest deck. And then I go on from there. And actually, what I'll do later one of these episodes is I'll take a random card out of one of these side quest decks, and I will improvise an adventure live on, well, live-ish. I record this stuff. I don't edit it, but we'll do one, and we'll see how that goes. Because the best way to keep your players off balance and on their toes is not just to keep yourself on balance and on your toes, but to keep things exciting for you as a DM. And I find that when things get improvised, it keeps things exciting as a DM for me, because it means that my players can push my envelope and I can go right along with it and still keep general reins on what's going on. And I think that's an important skill to have. The more skill you have in it, probably the less tools you need at the table. But anybody can be a decent improvisational DM, ready for your players when they zig and you thought they were going to zag, with the proper tools. And I think the Dungeon Master's Black Book, Little Black Book, is an excellent tool. SquareHex also does some great mapping. If you want to be your own mapper, some great tools for mapping out dungeons and stuff. Paper, index cards with all the different map symbols on it. Actually, the business card size. Great stuff. I had bought a shit ton of that stuff too. I might have a full set or two of that. If I do, maybe I'll bring it to ShireCon to show what's available. SquareHex at least still has that stuff available on their site. If not, I'll ask, if it's Peter, I'll ask him if you're going to bring it back. Because, again, as a resource, nothing can help you more as a DM or a GM than to have charts and tables and bits of information and adventure seeds ready to go at a moment's notice. You should never be in a position where your party zigs and you're expecting a zag and you go, oh, well, normally we play until midnight and it's only 10:30, but you guys just derailed everything for me, so I'm going to have to tap out, take a break, and come back. We'll pick this up next session. No. send them to a 10-minute smoke break, bathroom break, whatever, and move on and have something ready. Little books like this give you ways to do it. We're going to take a look at the Tome of Adventure Design. Now, these aren't reviews, by the way. I don't like to do reviews. If I'm showing something, it's because I think it's useful. So there's already the review. All right. I think this stuff is useful. I think it's worth the money. Am I saying that you have to spend the money on it? No, it's worth the money for me. And I'm going to tell you how I use them. And then you decide whether or not you would get some more use out of it too. Folks, I want to thank everybody who subscribed, everybody who's been commenting, liking the videos. You've been helping the channel out a lot. 1,000 subscribers are sneaking up on us. We will monetize, but we are not going to monetize in the way that many of you would expect. I've been talking with Mike and my other co-hosts, and as Rach has kind of put it, we're talking about doing a karma project when we do hit 1,000. So details will be forthcoming once we can figure out the details of this. I think it's going to be good. All right. But it's all about community, right? We are still in the midst of the world of COVID. So please, I beg of thee, I ask thee, do yourself a favor. Use your common sense when it comes to COVID. You can't help others if you yourself aren't well. If you're sick, you can't keep others healthy. You keep yourself healthy. All right? Speak to a medical professional. Ignore the talking heads. That's why I'm not giving medical advice. I'm a fucking talking head on the screen, right? Ignore the talking heads on TV, on radio, fucking in the internet. Seek a medical professional whose advice you respect and ask them. Be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice. And God willing, I'll be back again tomorrow. All right, folks. Laters.